since I'm waiting basically for paint to dry on the truck and it's a nice day, I decided to come over here and work on the buggy the rest of the evening. I need to replace this fuse, so I had these tied together just to get it started, so I'm putting this fuse back. And then I need to run all these pop rivets in here, so I need to drill all these holes to put pop rivets in that. So I'll do that, and I need to put the front shocks back together, the limit straps, I think they're together, I need to check those. But anyway, we're just going to work on the buggy a little bit today and get it closer. It's the weather where I can start driving it now, so I need to go ahead and spend a few days and get it running, and we can drive it and we can see what all I did wrong and troubleshoot things. But anyway, let's work on it today. Okay, I bought a high quality drill bit for this, and these holes drilled like going through butter, so I've got them all drilled and I'm working on getting them pop riveted down. It's not taking as long as I thought, so let me get all these pop riveted down and I'll move to the other side. Okay, about all I got done. I got that one already pop riveted in, and the driver's side pop riveted, and then the heel plate. So got all those in, they look really good, and I got the fuse changed. That's about all I got done today. This garage faces the main road right here. When the doors are open, people stop by, so I lost about an hour and a half of working on it, but that's okay. I ran into an old friend I haven't seen in probably over 10 years, and he bought a house down the road from me, and he has all kinds of hot rods down there now, so it was good to catch up with somebody like that. Good friend that I'll be able to do some work with and stuff. So anyway, it won't be long. We'll have the buggy, probably a week or two. I'll start driving the buggy and find out other problems, but we're getting close. Okay, I'm going to work on the carburetor. I'm not going to film much of this because I'm going to do the adjustments on it. There's a million videos on how to do this on YouTube, so I don't feel like I need to do another one. So if you are interested, just go on YouTube and look at carburetor adjustments. So I watched probably more than a dozen of them yesterday to get myself readjusted with everything on here and find little tips and tricks. So try to get this tuned up tonight if I can. That's the plan. So that's what we're going to do, and we'll see how it goes. Like I say, I'm not going to film a whole lot of it because I just don't feel like I need to, and I'm not an expert on it. So see if I can get it running good. Okay, you can hear I got it running. I got it running okay. I got the choke adjusted properly. It's opening the way it should. I got it adjusted, but my idle control and the fuel mixture, they barely seem to do anything. They hardly make any changes at all in it. I got it running better than it was. It did have miss when you give it throttle, but now it's pretty even, but still not quite happy with it. So I'm just gonna have to drive it and see. I need to check the timing too to make sure the timing's still there, but I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to end up getting another carburetor because, like I say, they hardly do anything. I mean, I've turned them 3 full turns and nothing changes. So I just barely got a little change out of them, which improved it, but I just don't think it functions the way it's supposed to. Okay, I'm gonna drive this around a little bit and see what happens with this carb. This was an Amazon carb, and I probably shouldn't have bought it. I was trying to save money at the time because I put so much money in this already. But I think what I'm going to do if I have problems, well, I know what I'm going to do if I have problems with this. I'm going to go to J-Bugs. If you're a Volkswagen person, you're already familiar with J-Bugs. You know he has like the best series of how-to videos. So they have a carburetor they sell that I know will work just fine, and it's honestly probably, it's not even $20 more than what I paid for this one. So I'll just go ahead and do that. Next, if I have problems with this, maybe this one will work fine. I don't know. We'll find out and see, but I have a feeling I'm going to have problems with it. So anyway, we'll see, and then we'll go from there. Okay, since I'm done with the carburetor for the night, for some reason, this emergency brake cable keeps coming loose. This will be the second time that I've tightened it, so I'm going to look at that and try to fix that now, but it keeps coming. I don't even pull the emergency brake yet, and somehow it keeps getting about a 1/4 or 3/8 slack in it somehow. So I'm going to look at that and see what I'm doing wrong or why it keeps slipping. Okay, I can see the kink kind of in the cable where I moved it about 3/8 of an inch before, so it hasn't slipped. Okay, well, I got that adjusted again, and it moved. Like I say, the cable wasn't slipping, so I'm not sure if it wasn't pulled tight, but I know I pulled on it tight, so it should be okay. That's where it should be in the caliper now, so hopefully it's okay. I'll just keep an eye on it. So that's one more thing I can mark off the list. I got a bunch of little things I'm working through before I can take it on test drive. I want to realign the front end the next couple of days. I did it with the wheels off, so it seemed like it was right, but with these tires on it, I don't know. So I want to do that, and I think the shocks are going to be okay now. I just need to put the limit straps back on, and there's 4 or 5 other little things, but we should be good. And the weather's starting to break, so it's still a little cool. It's probably 49 tonight, but it'll get warmer in the next couple of weeks, so we'll be able to take it for a drive and do some kind of driving video, and we'll see. Okay, today I'm going to spend the entire day working on the Buggy. The weather is finally good. I think we're past spring. I guess we're technically still in spring, but the weather looks like it's going to be good from here on out. So today I've got a list of things I'm going to do to the Buggy. Final things. I should be able to get it all done today. The only thing, like I say, that carburetor I'm still not crazy about. I don't know if it's going to work out, but if it does work out and it runs, then we will be driving this weekend. I will take it out in the wild, take it to a couple of places and run it and get some miles on it. So, like I say, the only thing that could stop that is if I keep having problems with this carburetor. I'm going to work on that a little bit later again. I got it running, I think it's tuned, but I haven't ran it since I tuned it. So I'm going to do a cold start and see what happens, go from there. I need to get the front end aligned. I'm going to do that now. And then it's just a bunch of little things. Tighten up the springs. Let's see, what do I have on this list? The rear roll cage needs to be bolted in. One of the torsion bar bolts is loose already. I don't know, just little things. We'll work on it through the day and see where we end up. Okay, one thing I'm noticing right away, my little witness mark here, it's off about 1/4 of an inch, so I'm not sure what happened there. So that's obviously moved a little bit, so that could be part of the problem. I'm not sure. So anyway, I'm gonna dig into it. Let's see. Okay, I'm using the same aluminum L brackets that I've got on the side of the tires, and this is just to get it in the ballpark. I'm just trying to get it close because it was really squirrely when I was driving it. And what it's showing is the wheels are about 3/4 of an inch out in the front, so it's way opposite than it should be. So I'm going to adjust that. Hopefully that'll take care of it. Get it close enough. I can take it and get it professionally aligned later, but I just want to get it to where it's drivable. Like I say, it was definitely not right before, so it's weird. I mean, when I had the spindles on there, not the spindles but the hubs, I did that in the shop and I got it right, but for some reason it's not right at all now. So anyway, I'll make the adjustment and see if it's better. Okay, I got about 1/8 of an inch toe in on it now, hopefully, so I'm going to lock it down and see what happens. So maybe that'll fix it, maybe it won't, I don't know, but it is better than it was. So let me tighten these down and then probably work on the carburetor, see if it starts up like it should. Okay, now I'm going to work on the shocks, try to get them set up. I could tell when I had it on the ground last time I was working with it, it was kind of late at night and I was just trying to get it set to where it thought it looked good, but I could see when I had it on the ground I had too much preload in it. The spring was kind of curving a little bit, so I had too much. So I'm going to have to take some out of it. And this won't keep me from driving it, but I don't think these springs are still right. So I probably in the future will have to change these, but I just want to be able to start driving it here a little bit, just on the street, to go through and see what's working and what's not working. So I'm going to get these adjusted to where they're okay. So even if it's not high enough, that's fine. It'll still be drivable. So I'm going to work on these, get these set up, and then we'll move to the carburetor. Okay, I spent the last hour trying to figure out, on some of these they go through and there's a bolt on the other side. So you have a nut and you have a bolt. These are threaded on there and I didn't note what size they were when I had it apart. So now I've got an access hole, but I'm having a hard time figuring out the thread size. So I've tried about everything. I don't know if it's metric or standard, but I feel like I'm getting close, but I'm just going through all of my junk bolts trying to figure that out. So this is one of those things that you don't expect. You know, you think you just bolt the cage right up and it'll be easy, but I'm at least an hour into this just trying to find these 2 bolts. So anyway, that's some of the stuff you have to deal with, but eventually I'll figure it out. The other version of these, they have a bolt there and then there's just a nut on the bottom of it, and that's easy. But the ones down there, this part's threaded, so there's no nut that goes on it. So it just threads into this piece here, so that's why I'm having trouble. But okay, for now I'm going to give up on these bolts, because by process of elimination, the only bolt I don't have is an M8 1.0. So that seems, hopefully that's what it is, because I've had all the other bolt sizes in standard and metric. So I'll go out to Lowe's later and get a bolt to test that to see if it's no big deal. It's not going to fall off for anything I'm doing right now driving. I mean, it's on there tight. I have to, when this bar comes off, even with all the bolts out of it, you have to beat it off with a rubber hammer because it's so tight. So okay, I'm still having idle carburetor issues. So next thing I'm going to try is the cutoff fuel valve. I've read where some of these can cause problems with idle, so I'm going to pull that out and see if that's the issue. So I see some people cut them on, they pull them out and they cut the piece off with a pair of pliers. I don't know if I'm going to do that yet, but I will pull it out and see if I can find a thread to plug the hole and try it. But I'm going to try that and see if that helps the problem, because like I say, I'm not getting, with my idle and my fuel mixture, when I move this, nothing's changing on the carburetor, hardly at all. I mean, it's just next to nothing, so this might be an issue. Okay, I didn't film it, but I just took it for a maiden voyage. I took it, I climbed a hill on pavement, but I climbed a hill and tested the brakes. Brakes they work, but they seem a little, I didn't slam them, so they seem a little weak. I went ahead and just cut the little valve that comes out of this. I went ahead and cut that off. That seemed to give me a little bit of adjustment on it, so that seemed to be okay, but it seemed to run fine. It idled and it ran. It didn't bog down or anything, so it seemed to run okay. So I don't know if it solved the problem. I'll probably still get another carburetor. Probably Monday I'm going to probably call J-Bugs and just order their carburetor and go from there, I think. But I'll drive it tomorrow. I might drive it a little bit again tonight. I'll see. But speedometer worked. The shifter seems to work. It was, when I first started, it seemed a little stiff, but the transmission just been rebuilt, so it's brand new, and so it seems to be freeing up and smoothing pretty good. It handles really nice as far as bumps. It's nice and smooth over rough terrain. So again, I don't know, the shocks, they're probably about right. I might go up one more. I mean, the width's setting pretty level. It's not too bad, but this is after a drive. It's about in the middle of the range. I mean, it might have a little bit more up travel, but it's definitely got more going down. So I think I might bump up another 100 pounds on each of these, or maybe 100 pounds total, and try to get this down a little bit lower. But it might be okay. Like I say, it drove really well as far as steering. The front end is way better than it was before, so it was definitely out of line, so it didn't try to pull or anything. It drove nice and straight, so that's fixed enough to drive it. So anyway, I'm gonna go over a few more things. I think I might hear a noise, possibly. I can't really tell if there's a noise in there, a tick, so I might pull it when it cools off. I might pull that valve cover and check everything, make sure there's nothing loose in there. But oh no, so far that was a successful drive. Well, if you're like me, when you build a car, you probably have lots of lists of things you want, parts you need to buy, extra decals and instructions, and normally you just throw those away. But now there's another option. Coworker I work with, she makes what she calls junk journals. They're kind of, it can be like a diary. Anyway, she hand makes them from things that you give her. There's obviously an intake gasket for the Volkswagen. But this is just a journal of all the things I would have thrown away. There's a picture of the Buggy. These are just little drawings and notes. Bearing box. One of the brake hose illustrations I did for the part I need. Extra decal. It's just everything that you might get rid of. Our local trail system. These pages are scattered throughout this. The frame when I got it and when it was painted with the sealer. Some of the designs I was trying to work out along the way. This is I would sit on my couch and just think of how I wanted things to look. These are the reflective decals that I bought that went on it. Just a little illustration I did. This page of gaskets. And the cool thing about this, you can go through and add things to this. You can write in it, and you can add stickers, you can do whatever you want. There's the gauge pod when I was working out how I wanted the wiring to go, trying to figure that out. Like I say, it's just stuff that normally you might just throw away. That's the shocks, how much travel they had. A Lowe's list there. She puts little pockets in there. Again, a bunch of lists. And like I say, this is just fun. It kind of just documents the build when you do it. And the center section is like a centerfold. It folds out. I was working on an idea for a t-shirt. Johnny V. Dubbin's the name. Buggy Performance is the game. So this is Roger from the Family Guy. I was wanting to do some kind of buggy. I was just doing this so I could work on an illustration, but I'd set and I'd drew some of those just to pass the time. But again, this is a fun little thing, and she is available for hire. If you have something like this and a project you worked on, the cars, it doesn't have to be a car, it could be anything. But if you have all this stuff laying around and you want to send it to her, you can reach me in the comments and I can get it to her, or I'll put her link in the description, and she can make one of these for you. This is, like I say, it's just a neat little thing. I'm going to take one of the pages. I mean, there's blank pages in here. I'm going to take one of them, and not this page, but I'll take a smooth page, one of them like this, and I'm going to write down the car shows that I go to. So every car show I take, I'll just write it in there, so I'll have a log of the car shows that I go to, and I'll probably take other pages and do different things on it. But it's just a fun little thing, you know. So I thought it was really awesome, and I'll probably put a couple little things. I'll probably put a couple decals on it. I've got a little thing I'll put on here to bind it shut. But anyway, if you're interested in one of these and think it's cool, just hit me up in the comments, or like I say, I'll add her link to the description. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. The birds are chirping. Everything's quiet about 9:30 in the neighborhood, and I'm about to fire this thing up and make a bunch of noise. One thing I always do with cars that are new when I break them in, I always drive them on Sunday mornings because there's less traffic. However, what I didn't think about till just a few minutes ago, this is actually Easter Sunday, so I don't know, I'm just gonna have to make some noise. No big deal. I'll try to keep it quiet the best I can. I've learned two things about this car already. This motor is a stock motor. There's nothing special. It's just a 1600. I did that on purpose because I'll probably use this in another car. I just wanted this to be the motor to fine tune this car, this buggy, and run it. So this buggy weighs a lot more than a buggy that would be based on all VW parts. Just a standard stripped down Volkswagen would weigh less than a Bug, so a 1600 would push that along fine because less weight, so you get more horsepower. You don't get more horsepower, but the weight to horsepower ratio. But this is actually heavier, so I'm losing horsepower. So this is a bit underwhelming. I mean, it moves along fine, but it's not going to pull a wheelie or anything. And the other thing that I've learned, this exhaust system, which I love as far as it looks, and I do have the baffles in it, so the baffles are in it. It is still extremely loud. On the camera, I don't think it doesn't, you don't get the full sound of it, but it's definitely the loudest Volkswagen I've ever driven. So, unfortunately, today's Sunday, Easter Sunday. I'll try to keep quiet with it, but I'm going to gather up the rest of my tools, get those loaded in, warm it up, and then we're going to go for a ride. Okay, I got a pile of tools here. Probably, if something happens, I'll have everything except for what I need, but that's the way it is. I'm going to make a toolkit for this later. I have a swap meet coming up this week, so I'm going to try to find extra sets of all the tools. But for now, I'm going to stick this in the buggy and we'll be ready to go. All right, perfect spot for my tools. That's why I mounted these little boxes behind my seats, because it's a perfect place for a little toolbox. Anything else I need to carry, but that's where we're going to keep our tools today. Hopefully, cross our fingers we don't need them. So I got my license, I got registration and insurance, and I have my AAA card, so I think we're good to go. Okay, before I take out, I got one more thing to check, probably the most important thing of all. Perfect. All right, now we are officially ready to go. we're gonna put gas in it for the first time. Yep, there's the first spillage. Alright, we'll get her gassed up. And then it cut out once, I think, because it was almost out of gas. So we'll get it gassed up and we'll go for another ride. Alright, our first trip to a gas station. Okay, I spilled some gas, so I'm letting that evaporate off. My speedometer works, and now that we put gas in it, look at the gas gauge. Be able to see if the gas gauge works, and it does. Alright, another thing that's working. Alright, we're good. Let's go for some more driving. Since you've only seen it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Now you see it in person.
Uh-huh.
Look better in person or on YouTube?
Way better in person.
Don't touch the exhaust pipes because I'm sure they're hot as hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can smell it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Got M&M art on this side. M&M art. And that's where we're at. M&M art. What do you think, Jesse?
Beautiful.
I'm still having carburetor problems. It's running okay, but it's not. I think I need to get that's an Amazon carburetor, which is kind of cheap, and you can't adjust it the way you're supposed to. So I think Monday I'm going to order a better carburetor, but I want to get about, I don't know, 10-15 miles on it today. Get it out, see what's working and what's not working. Front end I aligned the front end the best I could. I worked on it for about 2 hours. It's still not perfect, so I need to have it aligned professionally, but it's okay. And this steering is like, it's one rotation of the steering wheel left to right. I mean, so it's like you barely touch it and it moves. So well, anyway, yep, it's finally out in the wild. I spilled a bit gas in it. Almost ran out of gas getting here. Spilled gas on the back of it. So yeah, it's not live, but it's, you know.
It will be live.
A year and a half. It took me a year and a half to get it out here, so I want to document it. Hey, it's louder than I thought it would be.
Oh, dude, it's louder than better, man.
I can start it. Okay, we're out testing the tuning. I've got some. I'll try to get here without getting burnt on the exhaust. You can see I got something leaking out of the manifold there. So it was leaking what smelled like gas, but that obviously doesn't look like gas. It's kind of purpley looking, so got to look into that. Carburetor was running pretty good earlier, but now it's cutting out a little bit. Still need to check the timing, so I'm not sure. I think on Monday I'm going to order a new carburetor because I can tell it's just giving me problems, and I got to figure out what this issue is. I'll get a towel and wipe that up, get home, but about the only thing I can do today is mall crawl. So anyway, got out for a ride. I'll have someone with me next time I take it for a ride, and I'll get better like action shots and stuff. But right now it's just test and drive, so it's doing okay. Like I say, I made it to the mall, so that's not bad. So I'll get about 10-12 miles on it today. I'm gonna go ahead and head home at this point. I'll let it sit here for a second, make sure the carburetor's warm. But anyway, it's a good test and tune. So we'll try to get home. Hopefully we'll make it home. home. So all in all, pretty successful ride. There's a few things I got to tweak. The steering, I think the steering radius is actually okay. Front end's just a little off still. So I'll get it done professionally, but it's fine. And this wheel turns so quickly, it's easy to adjust. So I'm happy with that. I'm still getting used to this first hydraulic clutch I've ever had in a Volkswagen, so I'm getting used to that. It just feels a little different from the cable. Other than that, it drove pretty good. Goes over the bumps pretty good. Like I say, I'm still having carburetors, so I think at this point I've decided that I'm going to call Sam at J-Bugs on Monday. So when this video comes out, I'll have already talked to him and ordered a new carburetor, because like I said, I can't adjust this. I had a little bit of idle issue, and these just aren't adjusting at all. And I went ahead and this, since I knew I was going to get a new carb, this has that little plug that goes in and out. I cut it out, which a lot of people do. That helped a little bit, but again, I know I'm just going to have problems with this carburetor, I can tell already, so I'm just going to move on from it. I need to figure out what this leak is, figure that out. I think timing might be a degree or two off. I'm going to look into that, but I think I don't know if it's a timing of the carburetor. I just need to put a timing light on it and find out. But gas gauge works, speedometer works, brakes are working, everything seems to be okay. The steering brakes don't pull as hard as I used to. I used to have a dual, one of my old Buggy, I had the dual handle one, and it would really lock them up, but I didn't pull on it super hard. So again, I'm just trying to break it in. So, but overall, I'm happy. It didn't leave, like I say, it didn't leave me stranded. So the next video we'll do, I'll take it out somewhere and I'll get someone to work the camera and stuff, and we'll really test it out a little bit, get it on a little bit more of a trail and see how the suspension does. But overall, thumbs up. One thing I'm really happy that I've done, as I'm walking around, I'm looking at all my witness marks that I marked. It makes it really easy to see if anything's came loose that's obvious. So it's just nice to go around and eyeball those. Everything looks okay. I did find a lock washer in the floor pan, so I think that was probably just one that was floating around underneath a bar or a seat or something. That's the only thing I found that seems like it came loose. Everything else is looking okay. So anyway, again, like I say, it's a good idea to put those witness marks, and it really helps. The only thing I found so far that's came loose, the witness mark's still good on here, but this rod has a little bit of play in it, back and forth, so I need to tighten that up. The bottom one's still fine, so top one, that's the only loose thing I've found so far. I'm sure there'll be something else, but I'll get in there and tweak this a little bit. I don't see any leaks other than the one that was on the engine. There's no brake fluid anywhere. Doesn't seem to be gas leaking anywhere. So overall, we're looking pretty good. A little debris in the filter. I would have thought the tank would have been clean since it was new, but that filter's actually working. I'm getting a little bit of debris, so I'll change that filter before too long. Oil's still good. I haven't lost any oil. So anyway, we'll keep inspecting it. Okay, today I drove the Buggy to work. It got me there and got me back home. It was about 48 degrees this morning when I went to work. I think it was a little cold, and it idled good this morning, and at high RPMs it was great, but in the middle of the part that I was driving, it was just cutting out and going crazy, so I barely made it to work. But this evening, after it warmed up, it got 80 degrees today. It didn't want to idle, but then it ran good, other than it didn't want to idle. But once it warmed up, it idled fine. That got me home just fine. But I did order a carb from J-Bugs, so I'm still going to replace this, because I messed around with the idle screw and the fuel mixture, and nothing happens, and it makes no effect whatsoever. So I'm suspicious that this boot here, when they installed it, I'm afraid maybe they split it. There might be a split on the back side of it, because it's on there, and it does leak a little bit of fluid, which means there could be an air leak there too. So I'm probably going to pull this off and replace the boots and the carburetor on Saturday, and hopefully that will resolve my issues. Other than that, it is a blast to drive. I'm going to adjust a few things. The clutch pedal, I made them even with the brake, but with this toe hill thing and the way I'm pushing it, I need to push this pedal probably about an inch forward, so it'll be more comfortable to operate. But other than that, it operates just fine. It's just, I think it'll be in a more comfortable position, so I'm going to change that. The shocks on the front and rear, where they're dual load, you have this piece in here which starts the secondary shock on. I'm going to adjust that up some more. They're set too close right now, so when I hit a bump, they're engaging sooner than I would like them to. So I'm going to adjust that. Other than that, I don't know. I'm still just getting used to it, but it's been really fun. I forgot how much fun a buggy is to drive, so it's been a while since I've been in a buggy, so I'm kind of loving it. So anyway, as soon as I get the carburetor and get it running, I will probably drive it every day that it is not raining. So, and even some days when it does rain. So hopefully I'll spend more time. It's been nice to get away from the truck and the shop too. I've been working on the truck so much, which was good in the wintertime. I'm glad I was focused on it, but I don't want to lose momentum on the truck, but I want to make sure this is running good because I want to enjoy this all summer. So the truck I'll keep, it'll just be a project I'll keep working on, obviously, but I just want to enjoy this. I don't want to have this and have it not running properly. So I want to get it as fine-tuned as I can so I can enjoy it all summer. So anyway, that's the end of this video. And the next one, I'll have it out in the woods a little bit, not deep into the woods, but hopefully I get the carburetor issue worked out and that's all good. And then I'll take it to another location and we'll get it a little dirty. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.